Everyone, welcome back. So here we are sailing into week 4 of Voyage 14. We started this one off as a debt for $4,182 that's currently on Discover 1. And the plan is to get that paid off by November 13th. And then joining us this week is 4 Starfish. And the weather in our area is very beautiful. We've had some rain that cooled everything off. I believe the hot weather is now gone. There's just pockets of it here and there. So I'm hoping everyone else is enjoying this good weather too. So then we will break into the breakdown on Voyage 14. So we started this off on that Discover 1 for $4,182. And then I had plotted for the next 7 weeks. That's how many weeks it'd be until November 13th that we would do a payment of $597.43. So weeks 1, 2, and 3, I was able to send $600 off, and then we were down to $2,382. Once again this week, I sent off another $600, bringing that balance to $1,782. And then basically what that means is by the time we get to week 7, we'll have a lot less that'll be due on that. So hopefully we can keep this up for the next 3 weeks and get that tackled. And then we will jump into what happened to the checking account. We start off with a payroll check of $1,136.91, and it is a higher amount. There was a change of insurance in the work, so what I did was I kept my strategy of just keeping $1,000 in checking and putting the extra into savings. I'm assuming this is going to be the new paycheck, but I'm not 100% sure because of all the different deductions that happened in this during this time frame. So we will wait and see what happens on that. But for now, I just thought I'd put the extra in savings just in case I have to take it out and it has to get sent back for whatever reason with insurance stuff, because sometimes you never know about that. So then we are down to the $1,000. So we did our standard of sending 30 to line of credit 1, 31.25 to line of credit 2, and then 31.25 to line of credit 3, which brought us down to $907.50. We then once again did $50, which is broke down to the $47.82 going to loan 1, and then $218 to savings. And basically I'm just trying to add more to the savings and pad it a little bit, just so I don't have everything into the lines of credit in case something were to happen to my lines again. So I'm trying to be cautious and have another avenue just in case something were to happen. And then we normally put $50 into savings, so we did that once again this time. So that left us with $807.50. So I went ahead and put the $807.50 into that Discover Set Aside account, which is specifically for this voyage right now. We then look at that Discover 1 set aside. Last week we ended up with $14. We add that $807.50, bring it up to $821.50. We then took out that $600 for that Discover 1 payment, and that was the 4th payment we've done on that. So we went down to $221.50. We then did $110.29 water bill, which was on the Citibank, so I'd also pay that Citibank for that time frame. And then Netflix and YouTube both came out, one for $19.29, the other for $24.65. And then Netflix we have on the American Express, and then the YouTube we have on the Citibank. So we went ahead and applied those to the credit cards as well. And then we have a $67.27 balance. So then I did the escrow payment, which is into our savings. So it goes to savings to replenish what we took out for that. And then we did a amount for $25.27 on that. So now we currently have $42 in the Discover 1 set aside account. For the savings account, we began with $1,298.93. We did that payroll for $136.91, the loan savings for $218, the standard $50 payroll payment. The roundup came to $3.34, and then we did the escrow payment for $25.27, giving us an ending balance of $1,516.63. A breakdown on loan 1. This week we did October 17th payment of $47.82. We ended last week at 8,433.19, so that's how we started this week. So with that 47.82, there was 8.90 went to interest, 38.92 went to principal. And that now has a balance of 8,394.27. We then do a breakdown of, well, actually this is the line of credit 1, 2, and 3 all combined. And on the combination sheet, we have it where all three of them combined comes to $36,333.78. Available is $666.22. We do a weekly payment of $92.50, and then the combined amount due is $356.98 for November 1st. So line of credit 1 starts off with being the bills. We began with a balance of $11,826.48. We did send a payment of $30, and then available is $173.52. And then with that line of credit 1, that's also at a 7.5. We were in previous voyages doing it for bills, and this time we're just sending payments in right now. So when we send in that $30, there was $17.03 went to interest, and then that $12.97 went to principal, giving us that $173.52 available. And then it's at that 7.5. So we're just trying to get our lines where there's more room to wiggle in them and kind of just get them paid down, and so we have less of them to mess with. And then we go to line of credit 2, where we're at a balance of $12,348. So last time we started off with $12,364.01. That $31.25, we had $15.98 for interest, $15.27 for principal, and that's the balance of that $12,348.74. So now we have that $151.26 that's currently available. And then for the line of credit 3, we ended up with $12,158. So the payment of $31.25 that was applied went to interest of $17.51, principal of $13.74. And then once again on Voyages, we were doing this as the mortgage set aside. So we currently have $341.44, but like I said, during this voyage we're not doing that. And I think for the mortgage we may actually take that out of the savings account and pay back the savings account this time. What I'm trying to do is kind of see where my natural cash flow is at, because I just feel like I'm just putting stuff in the lines, taking them back out, and I want to make sure there's stuff is reducing. So that's another reason why I'm not tinkering with as many lines as I had been, because I'm not able to keep a lot in for very long. So we will just finish out the voyage and as we are and see how things end up. And we have the captain's log that started when we had our very first journey down to our 13th sea. So this has been a pay off of $64,295 thus far. And then it continues with Voyage 14, where we've had 4 weeks of $600. So currently we've paid off $66,695 of debt. And then with this Voyage 14 Discover 1, we start off with $4,182. And then once again on weeks 1, 2, 3, and 4, we had sent $600. So we currently have $1,782 remaining on this voyage. Then for our lines of credit, we have Visa, Citibank, and Discover 1, and those all currently equal to being $50,000. Visa, we have $9,650. That is a balance on that. And then Citibank has $5,765. And then Discover 1 has $5,422, because there's another balance transfer on that one, which like I said, I'm thinking about having where we're going to just kind of get the credit cards paid off, obviously, and get them not be messing with those lines, because it's harder to mess with the available credit when it's in a credit card form. So that's another reason why I just want to get focused on just getting down to one line of credit, and I think they'll make everything a lot smoother too when we get to that point. So currently the Visa has $350 available. that Citibank has 12,235 available, and Discover One has 16,578 available. So currently we have $29,163 available in those 3 cards. And then for this week, we went for monthly bills. We start off with the October 17, where we did that Discover One payment of $600, and that came out of that Discover One set aside. We also did a water bill for $110.29, Netflix for $19.29, and then YouTube for $24.65. And then I do need to get a lot better on the groceries and gas, because I think a lot of it I'm using 2 different cards, and well, sometimes 3 when I'm using the actual Target card. So there's just a lot of information that accumulates each week, so it makes it kind of hard to track all that. So I think that's another reason why I kind of want to get some things kind of phased out. That way there's less stuff to be paying attention to, and it's just smoother and easier to follow. So I'm going to try and work on that for next week too. We didn't have anything on the loans. We just had those same 5 items that we had done at the beginning of October. And then I have where the escrow shortage, I want to make sure I get that paid back into the savings. So it was at $231.90, and then we did a payment for $24.90, so the $207 is left to pay off that shortage on the savings. So please like and subscribe to follow my debt payoff journey. Let me know if you have any questions or comments down below. And looks like my phone stopped. All right, so I had a bit of a hiccup. For some reason my phone stopped working, so I think this is where I left off at the escrow shortage from the savings, and I had said to go ahead and like and subscribe to follow my debt journey, and questions and comments are welcome. And if you made it all the way through the video, the code word this time is watermelon, and that's mainly because I'm using a watermelon marker to mark off week 4 of our journey. So watermelon is the code word. So thank you for joining me, and I'll talk to you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.